Hello everyone, and welcome to this extended track guide on the super technical Fuji. The Fuji circuit has some extremely difficult sections like the long right-hander, 100R, the Dunlop chicane and the third sector. This hot lap is driven with the stock setup, so you can also use this guide for the fixed LMU GT3 series. My improved ABS, brake balance and TC settings are here on the screen. These settings help this car rotate more under braking and acceleration without being undriveable. If you struggle with these settings, change the brake bias a couple of clicks more to the front and increase the TC cut a little bit. Today we will not only be talking about general braking points and track limits, but also about pit entry and exit, do's and don'ts, and overtaking opportunities. Hopefully this guide will help you with mastering this track. We kick things off at the tightest corner on the circuit, turn 1, or Daiichi. It's a sharp hairpin with a pronounced descending inside curve. As you approach, use the full width of the track and brake at the pole just before the 100 meter port. Brake hard, then release the pedal as you near the apex and trail brake towards the corner. You can drag the brakes all the way into the corner. Get back on the throttle aggressively to help rotate the car on exit. Avoid touching the green section of the inside curb, as it can destabilize the car. Stay clear of the raised outer curb as well. Hitting that section drags down your speed and can cost around 2/10. Strong traction on exit is crucial here, as a fairly long straight follows immediately after this corner. This is turn 2. Turn 3 is a quick left-hander where your timing makes or breaks the corner. Look for the 100 meter port and where the grass turns yellow. Brake firm and short and come off the brake and guide the car into the apex. You can clip the inside curb, but be mindful of track limits. They're defined by the white line. On exit, get on the throttle right after the curb, but don't run too wide. If you do, you will compromise your approach and angle for turn 4. The track limits are pretty strict in this corner, so watch out for that. For 100R, I go flat out initially, then lift completely about 10 meters after the small side road. You can fine tune the car mid-corner with light brake or throttle inputs, but keep those adjustments under 10%. Dropping one gear can also help the car rotate more confidently. From the overhead view, you can see the line you want. Clip the first apex, let the car drift out, then bring it back to clip the second apex. At that second apex, you can run over the inside grey curb. Keep your exit tight, it positions the car properly for the next corner. Consistency matters at 100R, so focus on finding a rhythm that you can repeat lap after lap. What also matters is you ramming this like button. For turn 6, brake around the 50 meter board, using firm initial braking and then trailing the brake all the way into the apex. You need to clip the inside curb. Depending on the car, you can cut quite a lot here. But be careful, it can unsettle the car or trigger a track limit warning. Track limits is at the white line. On the way out, stamp the throttle and with my TC settings you should have no issues with traction. You can really lean on the traction control. Be careful not to run wide into the grass. Now we will pass turn 7, 8 and 9. I mean, you can't even call these turns. Now coming up to the Dunlop corner. This is an extremely slow chicane. Look for the side road on the right and brake when you are alongside it. Brake hard on the curb in a straight line and I like to do a late apex here. Trail brake towards the curb and I aim to go all the way over it to rotate the car and have a better angle for the next turn. Go as far to the right as you can and turn hard to the left while lifting aggressively off the throttle to help rotate the car. Clip the inside curb and immediately go full throttle again and open up the steering wheel to cut across the next curb. Be careful of the rear braking loose. Avoid clipping the dip of the curb as this will slow you down. At the last curb of the chicane you can cut quite a lot, but keep two wheels within the white line. Not all cars can take the big curb as aggressive, so keep that in mind. It's important at this chicane to sacrifice the exit of the first part for the rest of the chicane. For turn 13, use the green curb as your reference and brake just alongside it. Don't brake too hard here, as you will just understeer. Take a wide entry so you can open up the apex and maximize your exit speed. Clip the inside curb, but don't touch the dip. On exit, lean on the rotation of the throttle and TC. This corner is tricky to nail, but aim to get on the throttle early to help the car rotate on exit. You can use a good amount of the outside curb, but be careful, the white line comes up fast and it's easy to pick up track limits here. After turn 13, follow the curve on the left, and once it ends, give a small tap on the brake. From there, coast into turn 14, with a very light brake input as you approach the apex. You can even shift down for a brief moment to first gear for extra rotation. For turn 15 itself, focus on the late apex to maximize your exit speed. Use the rubbered line as a guide for where the car should be throughout the corner. Aim to clip the red and white curb, but don't go too much over the green section. Get back on the throttle as soon as you're past the inside curb. On the exit, avoid taking too much off the outer red and white curb, and definitely stay off the raised portion. It unsettles the car and costs time. This sequence depends heavily on rhythm. Don't brake too hard while turning in, or the front will wash out badly. For Panasonic corner, move immediately to the left to set up the car. There's no clear braking marker here, so you will need to rely on feel. The white stripe on the left works as a rough reference. I tend to brake about 50 meters before it. You can also use the side road. I brake about 10 meters after it. Use the same approach as turn 14 and 15. Turn in and brake very lightly, then coast with very light adjustments all the way to the apex. You can use the rubbered line again as guidance. A late apex is extremely important, because this corner leads directly onto the main straight. At the apex, clip the red and white curb, but avoid the green part, as this will unsettle the car. On exit, avoid the raised section of the curb. In my laps, it slows the car down significantly. A last tip is that you can briefly shift down to first gear for extra rotation. Well, as you can see by my reaction, I was extremely happy with this lap. This time was a 1:41.947. These are the target lap times for each skill group on default setup. When you are just starting out in sim racing, you should aim for a 1:45. Someone who does lower tier daily or league racing should aim for around 1:43.2. Someone who does higher tier daily or league racing should aim for around 1:41.9. And the absolute aliens drive around 1:41.3. For the pit entry, you want to follow the white line and brake about 25 meters before the broken and solid line meet. Watch out that you don't hit the white stripe on the inside, as this gives a track limit warning. After that, brake at the white line and enable the pit limiter. For the pit exit with warm tires, brake just before the white solid pit line ends and trail brake to the apex. For the pit exit with cold tires, take it just a little bit easier and watch out that you don't wash out wide. This track doesn't have that many overtaking points. The best one is at the hairpin after the main straight. You approach this corner with the highest speed of the track and have to slow down massively for the hairpin. Another decent overtaking opportunity is at the Dunlop chicane, but this one is quite tricky. You really have to commit here. Don't forget to leave each other room here. And don't forget to ram that like and subscribe button.